Welcome to the Coming Strength and Fitness podcast. I'm Jill, coach and owner of CS&F. My team and I are here to help you take charge of your fitness and nutrition. In each episode, we'll provide you our best so that you can take your health to the next level. I hope you enjoyed today's episode with our host and coach, Alex Cottingham.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on another episode of the Coming Strength and Fitness podcast. Believe it or not, right when I said that, I stood up because I'm so excited for this conversation, and I had to admit to sit because my back is breaking. It's not why we're here. Guys, we have a special guest with me. Jill is not here. I know she kind of does this with me a lot, but it's just me and one of our newest coaches at Coming Strength and Fitness. Wait, what's your name again? I forgot.
That's irrelevant.
T-Dizzy, the real deal, Trevor Deal. Trevor, how many nicknames / playoffs of your last name have you gotten over your life?
A lot.
Like,
it's
what
really
are
easy.
What are a couple?
Deal or No Deal, the real deal, T-Dizzy, my main deal. Yeah.
I like Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal is it, man. It's a go-to. That's actually how, when I tell someone my name on the phone, I have a little bit of an accent. If you can't tell, you're from Michigan, so we can all tell you have an accent. But people
You're
here,
from the deep south. You got
I'm
some
not from the
Dublin, Georgia.
Dublin, Georgia. But I say Trevor Deal, and people are like, "Can you spell that last name?" I'm like, "Deal or No Deal," because they think I'm saying Beal or Veal.
Oh, I see.
And I don't always. Is it enunciate or pronounce? I think it's enunciate.
Enunciate it?
Yeah, enunciate the words and articulate my consonants and vowels super well. But we're not talking about.
We're getting way
alphabet.
off track. Trevor, you are new to the CS&F world over the past year, but you're not new to fitness. Tell us the 3-minute version of both your story, and then we can kind of get more into the health and fitness after that. But tell us who you are. Paint a picture of you.
So life story.
Tell us your deepest, darkest sins.
I mean, we can talk about it. I have no shame because there's grace. But Trevor Deal, I grew up in Dublin, Georgia, which geographically is middle Georgia, but anyone who is aware of the state of Georgia, anything below Macon, is South Georgia.
100%.
I appreciate you recognizing that.
Yep.
So grew up down there. Man, loved it. Big emphasis on family. No shame in sharing that my parents got a divorce when I was 8 years old, and that deeply impacted the way I was raised. But I'm super grateful because both my parents were very active in my lives. Honestly, had a really good relationship between the two of them, and that impacted the way I was raised and brought up significantly, as you can imagine, and some of you probably relate. I do have a younger brother. His name is Ben Deal. Benjamin Deal, and he is just under 3 years younger than me, and is my closest friend outside of my spouse, Aaron, is my closest friend. He's actually the more athletic of the Deal brothers, but he's not the better looking of the two of us. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I have to say that. But grew up in Dublin and grew up playing various sports. Around high school, I started to kind of hone in and focus on one sport. Now, one sport was tennis, and I wanted to go play collegiately, so I would travel to Macon, which is the nearest kind of larger city to Dublin, and I would train at an academy up there. Really wanted to go play collegiately, and actually had a few smaller school offers, but towards the end of college, just felt affirmation from the Lord about going to the University of Georgia. It was a school I've always wanted to go to, and I wanted to prioritize my education, my academic career. So went to the University of Georgia and actually played club tennis there, so I still got my tennis fix. But it was towards the end of high school that my dad introduced me to fitness, to physical health and taking care of my physical health. And honestly, I kind of came to him and shared, Alex, we talked about this before, but I shared that I don't really feel strong. I don't feel like I look like, a young man should. I'm kind of embarrassed, and just was super transparent with him, and he said, "Hey, let's start going to the gym 3 days a week." And so started very bodybuilding, strength training focused. Really did prioritize bench, squat, deadlift, and overhead press as kind of the foundations of those days in the gym. But it really started just before my senior year of high school, and it continued through college. That was something that I prioritized for myself while at UGA, as well as an active lifestyle. Played virtually every intramural that I could, and was blessed to receive 3 intramural championships in college. And again, I'm not the most athletic deal, so you can imagine how many my brother won while he was at Georgia. But I did participate, or I was super involved in the Wesley Foundation in college, and that was one of the most transformational parts of my collegiate experience at Georgia, to be surrounded by a group and community of like-minded people who are pursuing Christ and wanting to share the gospel and know Him in a deeper way. Oh, it's so incredible. I could talk about so many people, guys and girls, that were just absolute blessings to me. And gratefully, maybe the coolest part of college, I was able to meet my now wife, Erin. We met at the end of my freshman year and started dating midway through our sophomore year of college. I actually like to share that she turned me down twice on a date, and then the third time she said yes. Fast forward a little bit, we got engaged 2020, married in 2021, bought a house and moved to historic Norcross in early part of 2021, and are getting close on 2 years of marriage. But that's a little bit about fitness, a little bit about me. Most important things to me are Jesus Christ, my life and wife, Erin, and taking care of my health and loving people. That's kind of the MO.
So we're going to do little things different, a little bit different in this episode. We're going to go to the story, and then we're going to do some fun hitters. Then we're going to do story, then we're going to do some fun hitters. So some fun facts about Trevor. Trevor, how do you like your coffee?
Black as can be.
Why?
Because I actually genuinely enjoy the taste of high-quality coffee. Some would call me a snob, a coffee snob, or connoisseur is how I prefer to say it. So, yeah, black. That's why.
Second one, then we'll jump back in. Trevor, who won the national championship in football
dogs,
this year?
Baby, back-to-back champ.
If you don't know anything about Trevor, just bring up Georgia football, and you will quickly know the real Trevor Deal.
Quick aside, Alex is from Michigan. The Midwest, no offense, they just don't understand what it's like to have a team like the University of Georgia, have your passion and heart in that team, also go to school there, invest your time, money, energy, get a degree from there, and watch us suck for so long. And now we're back-to-back champs. We're at the brink of a dynasty with Kirby. Thank you, God, for Kirby Smart. So, yeah, aside, Alex just doesn't appreciate it. But for my listeners who do, bless up.
All right, last one. Trevor, when you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I actually wanted to be a mechanical engineer.
And look at you now.
Yeah, not doing that at all. And I'm
okay,
glad.
Back in the story. Trevor, how did you get into CrossFit? Who introduced you to it? What was your first workout? What was that first experience like?
Great question, Alex. Got into CrossFit on the backside of the year. What year are we in now? 2023? So the backside of 2020. Gyms are closed.
So this was in the pandemic.
During the pandemic. Before that, I had just been going to the gym, and I was doing some
high intensity.
No high intensity.
Really?
Just like functional movement.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I mean, you could call it that because, like, the intensity is there in terms of the way that I broke up sets and moved in supersets.
But not like CrossFit.
No, not in the same kind of practical display of what CrossFit is. So I started I just followed some different accounts, and I stumbled upon CompTrain, Ben Bergeron's platform and company, and started to follow. At the time, they had a free daily workout, and started to follow that. And I did that in a Crunch Fitness. If anyone's familiar, Crunch is just a Globo Gym atmosphere. It was funny. I learned a bunch of different movements. People were looking at me weird. CompTrain was at the time a ton of volume for me, and it was just interesting. So I started doing that towards the end of 2020.
Wait, do you remember what your first workout was?
First workout was Nancy.
Really?
I did it on a treadmill and then in like the grass turf area of Crunch.
And for the people listening, what is the workout, Nancy?
Nancy is 5 rounds for time, a 400-meter run, 15 overhead squats at 95-65.
Did you do overhead squats?
Yeah.
So you just, I'm assuming since you just stumbled upon it, you probably didn't have the proper mechanics or coaching of what an overhead squat was. So did you literally just look it up on YouTube and just try overhead squatting?
Everything in the start, so then that kind of segues great into, I did look it up. And So I started doing following, actually practicing the training form and methodology of CrossFit at the start of 2021. So we're 2 years into this swing, and everything I've learned on my own. I've had some people that have shared thoughts and helped learn some different things, especially more as of late being here in the gym. But yeah, I started teaching myself. I taught myself how to do double unders and muscle ups and all the good stuff just from honestly looking silly and being willing to learn and watching a ton of YouTube videos.
All right, time out. Couple fun hitters. Trevor, what's a random phobia or aversion that you have?
Dude, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't really have fears.
Sharks.
I don't mean
snakes,
to be. I'm not really afraid of
claustrophobic.
No.
Throwing up. Cotton balls. We'll come back to it.
I don't mean to. I'm not trying to flex. I genuinely have never had a good answer to that question.
Trevor, what was your worst injury ever?
I've never been injured, knock on wood.
Oh, my gosh, ladies and gentlemen.
I am dead serious. I
don't believe this for one bit.
Of the two brothers, again, back to Ben, grew up playing football, wrestled, played tennis. He had a lot of injuries. I played tennis, but I always prioritized the health of my body in terms of a physical capacity sense, mobility, recovery. And tennis is one that you very easily could get some injuries. I think the only thing
tennis elbow?
Technically, no, I've never had tennis elbow. Is some tightness and a pulled muscle in my lower back.
Everyone is rolling their eyes at you right now. They're oh.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
We're moving on.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Last one, they're jumping back into the story.
Okay.
In your opinion, what is the best 3+ movie series?
Best 3+ movie series? It's The Dark Knight.
Really?
I think The Dark Knight is the best written, acting 3 series. I think once you get deeper, I love Harry Potter, but first 3 are slightly above average. Maybe the first one's even average, but it
get better.
It gets so much better once you get Goblet of Fire on. But I love The Dark Knight.
I didn't know you're a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah,
I've read all the books, seen all the movies. I think that's in the top 3. I also think that Star Wars is up there as well.
Yeah, the creation and the concept and display of Star Wars is very impressive to me.
So jumping back in, time in. Trevor, so you're doing these CrossFit workouts, you're getting into shape, but it's all on your own. How did you get connected with CS&F? What brought you here, and what has that journey looked like?
Yeah, so I was training on my own. Whenever we bought and moved into our house, I was like, man, I'm done going to the gym. I'm just going to hoist a pull-up bar on the wall, get a barbell and some dumbbells. And so I was doing, modified version of, at the time, Mayhem's programming in my garage, and I just pushing
CrossFit Mayhem,
CrossFit Mayhem,
which is another gym.
Good plug there. And I was following their programming, and I was like, okay, well, I've been doing this for 7-8 months. Let's give it a run, see how I'd compete, because you see social media all the time, competitions and things like that. So I was kind of researching and following a Facebook group about competitions here in Georgia, because I'm not trying to travel. I don't really want to, make it a ton of expense thing rather than just kind of a weekend thing. And I stumbled upon the Southeast Summer Classic 2021, and I signed up, started training specifically for it, saw the workouts. I was like, man, it's going to be hard. Started to test a few of those workouts.
Context. The Summer Classic was a workout that we hosted at CS&F. This was our workout, our competition.
Yes,
keep going.
The competition here at the gym. And decided to sign up, started to train for it, shared some details on social media. I actually had a buddy named Chad Ward who –
Shout out
Chad Ward.
Love
who
Chad.
Did North Point's residency program with Alex. Anyways, Chad, messaged me and was like, hey, my buddy Alex works up at the gym that you're about to do that competition at. Say hey to him. I feel like you guys would get along.
That was it.
That was the whole premise. And so, I was getting ready and up here started warming up. And I was like, I remember Chad said, I think he said Alex to say hey to him. And I was looking around, looked for somebody young around my age, and Alex had a Prey shirt on, so I was like, that's probably the guy. I went over and introduced myself, said hey, and honestly, that was kind of it. But
I think it's pretty brief, yeah.
Yeah, introduced to Coming Strength and Fitness because of the competition you guys hosted.
Pause. Time out. Couple other questions. Trevor, in your opinion, what's the best musical?
Hamilton's so good.
I agree.
It's so good. It's very, very impressive.
Secondly, if you could have a personal assistant take care of one task for you, what would it be?
Personal assistant, take care of email.
Really?
Yeah.
I would do cooking. Just have a personal chef.
I like cooking. That's fair, though. That's fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
Last one. Do you prefer crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
Smooth. But I actually have crunchy right now because I bought the wrong thing. I'm like, I'm not taking this back.
That's awesome. Time in. So, Trevor, you got connected with CS&F. How did you get from doing the first competition to now you're a coach on staff, you're L1 certified, you're taking some people through fundamentals. You also are a nutrition coach as well. Basically, bring us up to speed from that competition to where you are today.
I'm going to try to do that briefly. I was just very impressed by the way that the competition was run and with the people and the volunteers that I met, which are all people here at the gym. It's all this community. And I was super impressed by that. And I actually have a mentor who runs the CrossFit gym down in Dublin, Georgia, CrossFit DGA. His name's Eric Bland, and we would meet, pretty much every 3 to 4 weeks, and we'd talk about life, and we'd, spur each other on towards the Lord and towards a healthier life. And so continued on, and towards the back end of 2021, I was running a podcast on my own talking about living a healthy life and all that goes into that. And Alex said, either I friended you or I think you actually friended me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you listened to one of my podcasts, the old podcast, Broken Rhythms.
R.I.P.
It's still there.
Shameless plug.
I just
It's dormant.
It is dormant. It is non-active. But he reached out to me about his business on the side, Holo Health. But nonetheless, that got me connected with Alex, which got me up at CS&F somewhat frequently. We trained together, from time to time. He brought me into the gym. I think my first time in the gym was February of 2022.
Me, you, and Leighton on a Saturday.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. Good time, and met Hunter and Jill, and it just was continually more and more impressed by what was going on and what not only they had built, but the community had built here at CS&F. And then I volunteered as the, head judge and coordinator of judges here at the 2022 Summer Classic, the competition we hosted, and just got to meet so many more people and really enjoyed that. I love getting to know people. It's a passion of mine, building relationships. It's something I care deeply about. And wasn't long after that I heard from the Lord and through him and then through other people that I was called to be up here at CS&F, and reached out to you about it, and you coordinated a conversation with Jill and Hunter, and I was just so transparent with them about that calling and conviction that the Lord placed on my heart and my desire for it specifically to be at this gym. I believe wholeheartedly that this is the best gym in Georgia. I hadn't been in many outside of Georgia.
Out of the two I've been a part of, Crunch Fitness and CS&F.
No, but
CS&F takes the top.
I have been in many CrossFit gyms, and it's just done differently here, and it's done intentionally here, and it's all about changing lives. Yes, through fitness, but really about changing lives. And that's what Jill and Hunter preach, and look what they've done over almost 10 years building and running this gym, and that was something that it was evident that this was the gym. If I could, choose and desire to be a part of it, this was the gym to do that.
Time out. Trevor, what was your high school job?
I worked at a men's clothing store for 3 years called the Sir Shop, not Surf, Sir, S-I-R shop.
What's in the trunk of your car right now?
Golf clubs, tennis rackets, lifters, a belt, a lot of tennis balls, some golf balls, a spare change of clothes that you will always need, and toilet paper.
Last question. In your opinion, what is the worst candy?
Dude, I'm not a big, gummy guy.
Or chocolate.
I love chocolate, for the record.
Or I'm saying any candy.
Yeah. No, I'm tracking. Twizzlers. I'll just keep it short.
I'd agree with that. Mine's Almond Joys.
Oh, dude, those are pretty bad.
Those are bad. I'd put Twizzlers on the
Sorry to any of the lovers out there.
I know.
AJ's and Twiz.
Trevor, so you're a coach here on staff. You also are open to nutrition coaching as well. You're certified there, and I'm actually getting certified myself as well. That give us a 60-second vision update, summary on nutrition coaching and how someone can also like reach out and work with you on dialing in the nutrition?
Yeah, so I think I need to dial it back a little bit. Back in high school, again, I mentioned that I did not feel very confident or proud or just sure of myself as a young man and just how I looked. I was super insecure about that, and part of that led to struggling with nutrition and not properly viewing nutrition in a very healthy way, as well as feeding myself in a healthy way. And so I started to see a lot of redemption of that towards the end of college and during the pandemic, and it's something that made a significant impact in my life, not only physically but also mentally, emotionally. And whenever I was coming up here and talking to Jill, and that being something that she has started here and grown here, I was like, man, that's incredible, and that's definitely something that I'm passionate about helping people with. So I got certified to coach people through Working Against Gravity. That is a program platform / company that helps certified coaches to coach people one-on-one individually with nutrition. So what that looks like is we work one-on-one and we build a specific individualized plan for that person, for you, and it is, no matter where you are, where you're starting, it is built for you. And all of our coaching is a habit-based approach. We're not writing meal plans. We're not, telling you exactly what to eat every single day. And while we've got, things that we can share, it is focused on building sustainable habits into a lifestyle that can get you the results that you desire, and to continue that across the rest of your life. So it's really focused on teaching, educating, and then walking alongside you to build sustainable habits around your nutrition.
I got one more question along the storyline, but before we do, 3 quick fun hitters. Trevor, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation.
It's a different one. I've never heard of that one before. Mm-hmm. If you had to completely change your first name, what would you change your first name to? And you can't say Ben.
I wouldn't. Probably Matthew or David. I like both
David
of those
Deal.
names. Yeah, I like both of those.
Call you
names.
Double D. If you had to give up a favorite food, what would be the most difficult to give up?
Buffalo chicken dip.
Dang. All right, last question. Trevor, what's the future hold for Trevor Deal? Fitness-wise, marriage-wise, aspiration-wise. Give us a 60-second vision cast of what the future holds for Trevor Deal.
I'll start with the most important. I want my life to be a representation that people see Christ and can come to know Christ through just my faithfulness to Him. That's the most important thing, Alex. Bar none. Had a conversation with one of the members here at the gym yesterday, actually, about that. Secondary to that, I want so badly to be a husband and a father that leads his family well. And we don't have any kids at this time, and we do want some, Lord willing. And I just deeply desire that. That's a significant part of my life, that I desire to leave a legacy that's not for my own gain or benefit, but for the better gain of my wife and hopefully future kids one day. Fitness-wise, man, I'm just trying to work hard in the gym and leave it there, and whatever happens, happens. I enjoy competing, but I joked with somebody yesterday, I have no desire, truly no desire to be an individual competitor at the CrossFit Games. That's just not the lifestyle that I desire, but I love CrossFit. And then outside of that, I want to continue growing and coaching here at CS&F and building relationships with people to really just talk about changing lives through living a truly healthy life. That's something I'm deeply passionate about. So I hope that was brief enough and answered that question well.
It was. I give you an A+.
I love it.
All right, couple quick fun hitters, and then we're wrapping up.
Mm-hmm.
We're rounding third. Trevor, what's the best compliment you've ever gotten?
I would probably say being complimented on my intentionality. It's one that's been as of late, and it's very humbling to hear that. But I would say that's such I'm a big words of affirmation guy. It's so appreciated to hear that specifically, because that's a deep desire in my heart.
What are your top 2 love languages?
As probably quality time and words of affirmation, probably right neck and neck, and then physical touch.
I know you didn't ask mine, but mine's
I didn't.
acts of service.
That adds up.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Math, specifically calculus.
What is your book going to be about?
I can't say that.
But if you could, what would you say?
Living intentionally.
Living intentionally. If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One meal. Oof. 10-ounce filet, baked potato, and caramelized Brussels.
Ooh. Sounds good to me. Last one. Anything you want to leave the listeners with?
Yeah, I think I just shared that sometimes I can seem unapproachable, and that's something I've been aware of towards the end of high school and all of college, and I just want you to know that this is not the case.
Why do you think you seem unapproachable?
I don't know. I don't know the answer, truthfully. I think it maybe some demeanors and I don't know. Erin says sometimes she feels like people think I'm intimidating, and I don't again mean that in a pompous way or anything like that. I want to kind of crush that here at the gym. I just want to get to know people, and I'm the new guy. I'm sure there's some things that go with that, maybe on both sides as a coach and then as a member, but I just want people to know, hey, I'm here to try to give you the best hour of your day from a coaching perspective, to build a relationship with you, and if there's like literally anything I could do to encourage you or help you or walk alongside you, that's why I'm here.
Guys, that is Trevor Deal. I'm super excited that he has decided to make CS&F his home for whoever knows how long. Only God knows how long. But, Trevor, you make this place better. Your brother, your friend, you're a good coach. I'm looking forward to what the future holds. So, listeners, you have homework. When you see Trevor Deal, you can say a couple things. You can ask him about how his book is coming. You can ask him if he has smooth or crunchy peanut butter today. You can ask him if he still wants to teleport or if he wants to teleport.
Rose.
And you can ask him to do a math equation right off the top of his head because he was so good and it was his favorite subject. Or you can honestly just look at him and say, go dogs, and he probably would like become your best friend forever.
Start barking at you.
Literally. So, guys, I'm excited. Make sure you say hi to Trevor. Make him feel warm and at home. I know many of you know him, but not everybody. So, looking forward to all the good things to come, and we'll see you in another episode of the podcast. See you, everybody.
See y'all.
Thank you for joining us today, friends. I hope today's conversation helped you gain a greater understanding of the mission at CS&F to change lives through fitness and nutrition. Check us out on social media or reach out at comingstrengthandfitness.com. We would love to help you take your health to the next level. We'll see you next time.